let's talk about the challenge and move on. So the challenge that we wanted to set up as part of Accelerate was how could we apply digital humans to helping solve a complex problem. So there are simple problems that we want to help people solve, and that might be the place that you start. But we wanted to explore how you could apply digital humans to more complex problem solving and do this in a collaborative, interdisciplinary ecosystem. So you might recall from the very beginning of today, talking about what is Accelerate, what's its purpose, why are we here together. This is not about us evangelizing a particular technology. It is actually about how we come together to affect meaningful change and become adaptive digital leaders going forward. So what we wanted to do was bring together a group of people that have different perspectives, different points of view, and also an interdisciplinary approach to how we bring this digital transformation to bear in a meaningful way. The other thing that we wanted to get out of the challenge is that it showcases digital transformation and adaptive leadership in action. So this part of the day, or this part of the session, is about how we come together to start progressing this journey around using digital humans or virtual assistants in a variety of different situations. So we came up with this concept of the Digital Human Project as a way that we could draw all of these elements together. And so it's a mission to explore different ways in which digital humans can improve how people interact with AI for learning, operations, and customer lifecycle engagement. So we wanted to take 3 different perspectives on how you might actually further digital humans in action. And so we also, as a consequence of that, went out and started to think about how could we bring this to life, and we managed to find a social influencer that might be a suitable candidate that has experience, knowledge, and influence across these 3 areas. So Petra Baselli, who you see in the image there, is actually a teacher, an engineer, math teacher I should say, engineer, an athlete, social influencer, and yes, he's also a model, so fashion model. He's got his own fashion label. He's got something like 30 million views on his YouTube channel, 2.8 million followers. And one of the possibilities from the Digital Human Project is for us to actually create digital avatars of influencers. And those influencers can be coaches. They can influence us in terms of choices that we make, in terms of brand. And the possibilities are quite interesting when you start to explore how you scale influence and build relationship with customers, clients, and users. It's not just about brands, it's about users. How do you make the experience of learning about manuals to do with pumps and equipment in heavy industry more engaging and interesting and accessible? You know, there's the opportunity to have a buddy that can coach you through that, but they also have to have a credible persona and presence to do that. And this kind of comes to one of the points that you were talking about, and I'll pick up on that in a moment. So the mission objective is to explore, leverage, and share and extend the possibilities represented by digital humans. The website sets all of this out, but there's 6 different areas that we want to explore with the project. Understanding what's possible, exploring use cases, applying it to education, applying it in operational environments, applying it in a customer engagement environment, so feedback avatars is an example of that, but also extending reach. So you're already seeing that in the New Zealand example with John Kerwin around mental health. He's wanting to use his influence in this particular area to extend the reach around mental health issues. You know, one of the things about digital humans is they are infinitely patient. They are potentially very good at listening, you know, if the UI is designed right and you're building in this feedback mechanism into it. So there are some very interesting possibilities at the sort of far end of the spectrum around what's possible in terms of how we can potentially listen and respond to the issues that there are up. I like the term, I think it was, that Gavin used, you know, it's return on impact. Return on impact rather than return on investment. What is the impact of your project going to have? Because we're moving to a world where it's not just about cash and investment. It's actually about impact, sustainability. So what's the process that we're going through here? So those of you who are joining us today, this is potentially the first step or the second step for some of you around how the digital human comes together. So we've started off by developing a documentary around the capture process. For if you've ever wondered what goes in behind a digital human, we've got that piece. We're doing some research and we want to involve you in this research and having you contribute to this project. But really the thing that we want to get out of today is start you on your journey around how you build use cases. Because this is one of the most challenging parts, is how do you build a credible use case that you can get buy-in from various stakeholders to actually carry the project forward. And it's all about mindset and culture from that standpoint, and Leroy's commented on that. Max Thesera is going to be talking about that in a little bit more detail shortly. So it's all very well discussing theoretically what are all the use cases. We want to help you in your journey build those use cases. So part of the concept here is that depending on what use cases the group come up with, there will be some degree of support or investment, I can't tell you what it is, from the sponsors of the program. Now that could be sponsorship in kind, just to support you as you're building your use cases and taking this journey. It could be in the form of real money, it could be in the form of just coming together and a group of people. So crowdsourcing, if you like, is another opportunity that there is here. So it's necessarily vague because we don't know what the outcome of this is, but we want to embark on a journey where we're bringing people along on that journey as we evolve the use of virtual assistants. Over the course of next year, we'll be coming back together to look at the use cases, refining those use cases, helping build the business case for them, and give you an opportunity to learn lessons. So there's a threefold opportunity here for you. One is you can come along as part of a learning journey, and I have this in my hand because one of the things we did back in September is run 4 masterclasses, and I mentioned at the beginning of today how those masterclasses are actually online with the social learning platform. In this workbook, which there are copies available around the room, this is all about the digital transformation program that we have put together in conjunction with the Australian Graduate School of Management and Max Thesera. So this is an ongoing learning journey, which you'll be able to dip in and dip out of the Digital Human Project as part of your continuing journey around learning about digital transformation. So that's one. Second scenario that you can engage with it, if this is something that excites you, floats your boat, you can get involved and actually take a more active role as opposed to a passive role in the building of the digital human. The third possibility is that you can be a curious observer in terms of following how the project unfolds on Instagram, and we will be later this week inviting you to join a LinkedIn group where this will be unfolding over time. So, any questions there? Sound vaguely interesting? There are a few nodding heads. Good, we like that. So let's talk about how these avatars get made. One of the fascinating things here is the claw. So the video that I'm about to show you was filmed at the beginning of September in Los Angeles. And we put Pietro Baselli through the process of having his image captured, but not in the usual sort of way in which you would capture the image of one of the world's top fashion models.
Hello everyone, it's Pietro Baselli here, and I'm really excited today because I'm in LA and I'm about to enter this rig, which is really impressive with all the hundreds of cameras, and we're gonna use this to create a digital avatar of myself. So a 3D scan of my face and facial expressions that then we will use in creating a digital human, so a digital human version of myself. So this is where it all happens. I'm surrounded by 105 cameras and lights, and they all fire at the same time. Wow, it's really bright in here. Doesn't look that bright from the outside. I feel like I'm part of an experiment with all these lights around.
Now this one is going to be a full face scrunch, is what we call it. So it's kind of tightening as much of the face as possible. So it's just like clench, yeah, and then just.
He's probably smiling really cheesy.
Smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have a war face. Sometimes I do this. It's like my modeling face. It was so fun. Well, I didn't really know what to expect, and then when I saw the rig, it looked so crazy with all these cameras and everything. But once you're in there, you're just surrounded by light completely. It's almost like a mesmerizing experience. Just sitting really upright, you have a claw holding your head so you don't move. And then you have to think about all these different facial expressions, and you have to make them really extreme so they can get captured. Look at that, that's quite funny, I think. You know, when they said scanning, I imagined like some tedious process, but it was actually just literally a few shots. It's like, that's like efficiency, you know? You don't have to like take all these different shots separately. So, yeah, really cool. Like, definitely one of the most interesting photo shoots I've ever done. If not the most interesting, I mean, look at that. Hey, Tony, high five. Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Right, so that's the process that currently exists around how you actually start to, this is the beginning stage of putting together a digital human. Hopefully you picked up on the fact that all of the different facial expressions is so that you can actually start, the animators can start to bring together all of the different facial expressions, again, so that you can build empathy and rapport. Thinking back to Gavin's slide around, what percentage of communication is verbal versus expressions and mood, etc. So it's all part of the process.